That hurt. More verticality. Recording in progress. All right.
All right. Welcome to Straight Red Card. That was a spoon.
Yes.
You noticed in the break, that was a spoon.
I noticed, yes.
We're going to dig in today to the...
Boo.
I know, that was bad. But thank you guys for joining us. This is sort of something we just decided to do tonight because of the Berhalter press conference. And because we got a big game tomorrow, guys. Holy crap.
It's a big one and a late one, too.
Yeah, it's a big thing. I just got done. Well, I didn't get to watch the end of Filippo's live show, but he went into a lot of things as well. And I mean, we've got to as well. But I think we should definitely investigate. Well, let's start with Pulisic because we're not going to cover that one tonight because that would be too long because he took a bunch of questions before Gregg came on to the presser. And I've never seen anybody so unhappy to do an interview. I don't know if you watched it, Brett, but he looked...
I came in late to it, yeah.
Yeah, he just looked like, why am I here? I fucking hate these questions. I hate these people. I hate answering these questions. And then the only question that gave him a smile was Meg's question. And we were like, Meg, yes, Meg got to ask a question. And it was basically, she said, so what do you do on your free time to relax before the game? Do you play chess or video games or whatever? She asked, something like that. And she's like, you knew that thing about the chess, didn't you? You know, he's like, I'm wise to you, Meg. But he finally smiled, and that loosened him up for a little bit of the rest.
He only had a couple minutes left after that.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I mean, I think what he should have said is he goes, the way I unwind just before a game is I take selfies with Instagram models.
He could have said that, but that would have been wrong. Or he could have said, sometimes I wank it to X-Hamster. I like the classics in particular, like Behind the Green Door. So, you know, he could have said something like that. But, you know, he's definitely not in a joking mood. These are so, as we've mentioned before, so vastly different from his Chelsea interviews, where he's a lot more open and friendly and giggly. And, yeah, you don't get that Pulisic and the U.S. men's national team. He's all business. So there you go.
We got somebody introducing us tonight.
Introducing Derek and Brett. Derek and Brett have the #1 U.S. men's national team show while discussing yellow boots, Daniel Farka, and other silly things. Yes, we do discuss some silly things. So, like the fact that there's no butter in movie theater butter popcorn. It's not butter. There's not a drop of butter in that. But I love it, and I want some of it. How do I get my hands on it?
I've actually been sent out to go to a movie theater just to get popcorn to bring it home.
Yeah, dude. I don't know what that butter flavoring shit is that they use.
Crack.
But it's better
than
butter.
Liquid crack.
Dude, it's better than butter. So, but it's called butter flavoring. And I don't think you can buy it on them like in Kroger or at like Walmart or whatever. Because I've looked. I'm like, where's that fake butter
It's
shit?
the theater secret sauce. We'll never tell you.
Yeah. Ron's back. This is going to suck. The game, I mean, not the podcast about it. Well, we might suck too. Ron, it happens on occasion, just briefly, moment to moment. But I just have to give props to Tack tonight. He said fucking. He said shit.
What?
Yes. And he said existential twice. Those are words I use, not him. So I was like, whoa. That dude's getting philosophical on us.
You're rubbing off on him, and he's told you to stop at least twice. So
it was funny. He apologized for saying shit, but when he said fucking, he didn't even apologize for it. I thought that was awesome. So there we are. I think, you know, Tack's making inroads into the swearing universe.
Next thing you know, he's going to be drinking.
Now, that's going to be a harder thing to convince him to do, I think, just based on my conversations with him. Yeah. Yeah. So we did Tact and I text back and forth to make sure we didn't do our shows at the same time tonight. So that's why he's done and we're on. So let's start with the Gregg interview, because we're trying to make this like a 35-minute thing, right? That's the goal tonight, not to go on forever. And I think we had some questions too that you brought up earlier in the day. That
Here's one right now.
Jose Reyes, one of our most favorites of the faves. I expect to be late to work, hungover, win or lose. You always booze, and or enraged after tomorrow's game. Keep up the good work, boys. Here's 0.007 gallons of gas. Let's go, boys. We can do this. Yeah, I thought it was funny when you were on the live chat, the Berhalter live chat, that you were like pretty super positive. I think that
I was going for it.
I mean, I wasn't going to be.
Let's go, Greg. Come on.
I know. I wasn't going to be super negative, but you know, it was nice to see Gregg have a fucking sense of humor. But you're right.
We'll get to that in a bit.
We will. But you're right. Win or lose, always booze. But listen, if we really get stomped tomorrow, then I think you can be enraged. I think if we lose like 1-0 and we play like shit, you could be upset. If it's a 0-0 tie and we should have won 2-0, you can be a little disappointed. But you know what? If we play really well and they just chunk out a late goal in the 93rd minute, in extra time, and it's a lucky one, I mean, and we played good. That's the point. Did we play? Did we perform? And if we perform and we do well, then I'm not going to complain. Or if we didn't start some weird ass lineup, you know, that Gregg pulled out of his ass, which doesn't sound like that's going to happen.
Sound like it's going to happen from what?
Yeah.
The little tidbits we're picking up here.
Exactly.
But yeah, Jose. Yeah, on Monday, you guys may have noticed I had my bottle like right here. And I did not go into work the next day.
Ooh, did they know why?
I was tired, a little bit of a headache. And it gave me no, not really hungover, just a little bit of a headache. I think it was how I slept on the bed. My daughter came in, just like
sure it was.
And if anybody has kids, and you know they when they come in, what? When they come in the middle of the night.
Came in and what?
When they come in the middle of the night, bed or whatever.
Wake you up, yeah.
You always start off with a chunk of the bed, and then at the end of the night, when 2-3 in the morning, all of a sudden you realize you're literally lying on the side of the bed, like just on your side, with nothing more than enough room for your side.
Yeah, and just to be clear, Brett's daughter is like very young. She's like 3 years old, right?
Yes.
This is not his teenage daughter.
It'd be a little weird, yeah. It'd be a little weird.
Sleeping in his bed, all right? But kids do that. Kids do that.
Starting rumors.
Kids do that. They're like, "Oh, Daddy, I saw a spider in my room. Can I sleep in the bed with you and Mommy?" No. Let's go find the spider. I'm going to kill it, and you're going back to sleep in your own bed.
Mom and Daddy are busy.
Having a hard enough time sleeping with your mom who snores.
Well, that's not quite the opposite. I'm the one that snores, but yeah.
Yeah, it was the opposite for me.
My wife would probably go, "Charlie, yeah, you can go into the bed," and then she'd probably go and sleep in her bed.
You know, the other thing is have a little cot in the room they can sleep on too, so they're not in the bed. I mean, and we had a big time king, but I still don't. I already had a dog and a cat sleeping in the bed with us. It's like I don't need another thing on the bed moving around in the middle of the night. You know, so. U.S. men's national team media is so soft. They all start off by thanking the players for doing this. This doesn't happen in any other U.S. sport. Annoys me so much. I am sick of the thank you thing too. I'm sorry that. Gregg, first I want to say thank you for doing this.
Thanks for taking the time out of your day.
Thank you for doing this.
Gregg's going, I have to do this.
Christian, thank you so much for giving us the 5-10 minutes you're going to give us here. And we really appreciate all your patience with our idiotic questions. I'm really sick of that shit. Just say, okay, hey, Christian, boom, get to the question.
Hey, nice to see you, Gregg. Blah blah blah. You know, if you want to add a pleasantry in front of it. I mean,
yeah, I don't think that's necessary.
I don't either. I'm just saying if you want to add a pleasantry, but I almost wonder how much the players in the Gregg are sitting there going like, it's like the fifth person in a row that said, "Hey, thanks for taking time out of your day," or "Thanks for being here." Dude,
it's their fucking job. That's part of the job description. Don't thank them for doing their job. This is ridiculous at this point. They're doing their job. Someone at U.S. Soccer said, "All right, who's going to be the player guy?" And Gregg said, Christian's going to do it. And he said, Christian, you're doing it. And he said, yeah, I guess part of the job. Exactly. I am the face. I am the face of American soccer, of U.S. soccer. So yes, of course I will do it. And I will look extremely unhappy doing it the whole time, except for when Meg asks me a question.
Christian's probably going, I'm only going to give him yes and no answers. That's it. Nothing else.
You know, that would be so cool if somebody did that at some point. Yeah. But John Brooks basically does that during media pressers. Yes, we will. Are you comfortable going into the next game and anything you guys are preparing for specifically, John? Yes, we are preparing. Thank you.
It will be good.
Stands up. I have no other comments. Thank you.
But thanks, Matt, for that $4.99. Appreciate it, man.
Hell yeah, dude. Appreciate it.
On that same topic, I guess. So here it goes. Wish they would cuss him out instead of thanking him.
I mean, if you had a guy with like Tourette's or something, you know, they'd be like,
I want to say, fuck off. Here's my question.
John Stom from So-and-so News. Fuck! I have a fucking question. Sorry. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Just a little issue I have.
That's gonna be clipped too. Just there's gonna be like a 3-second clip of Derek going fuck.
But no, I mean it would be nice if that happened on occasion.
No, I'm gonna clip that.
even if on accident, you know, they were like, all right, up next is Grant Wall, and you hear fucking microphone won't work. God damn. Oh. Okay, yes, this is Grant. I have a question. It'd be great to hear that, but yeah. Although there was did you hear the very end of the Berhalter interview? The guy, as they're signing off, he says, bro. Very end. Got to watch it all the way to the end when they're already ended the show. He says, bro. And then it ends. Then
you say that? Is that Gregg talking to Michael?
No, it's some guy saying bro. I don't know what he's saying bro to. I mean, it could be like, bro, you rocked it tonight. Or bro, you killed it. Bro, well done, Gregg. So we don't know. But it was a random bro.
Maybe it was Gregg saying bro as in his mouth hurts from smiling so much.
That was rare today. So you want to start it or do we have more questions?
Yeah, let's start it. We're about 15 minutes into it, so I don't think we're gonna hit our 30-minute marker already.
Of course we are.
Okay.
All right. So here's
that was the funniest thing because I was like, "Hey guys, we're going to be on for a 30-minute quickie. Everybody likes a good quickie," and like the bulk of the posts were like 30 minutes. Really?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're like, "We don't believe you. Fuck you."
Know what? I'm just going to verify. I clicked the audio button. I don't want to have to go into that. No audio.
Well, that's what I told Tack too. I said, "Yeah, we're just going to do a short one." He's like, "Yeah." Right. Or maybe I said, "Yeah," but it's not going to happen.
Well, we're going to have to give it a second. My StreamYard is not responding.
No shit.
On the share.
Wow. U.S. Soccer's StreamYard have gotten together and decided to fuck us in the anus. Usually it's my laptop that goes south, but I guess not today.
I'm doing too much, I guess.
All right. Well, you shut down X-Hamster, shut down Pornhub. What's the other one? Shut those off.
I can never shut down Pornhub. Are you kidding me?
Well, they always got stuff running in the background, I'm sure, you know, because once you get on their gadgets and widgets and their cookies, you're their bitch for life. But anyhow, just some things that, you know, that Pulisic discussed today. It's just the thing was just his basic thing was the same as usual. Oh my God, there's two
of me. Yes, I've been gone for the last 10 seconds.
What the fuck's going on?
I just kicked Brett out of here, so bye.
Okay, that was weird. And so now maybe things work. Let's see.
Oh, I gotta pull the interview back up. Hold on.
Oh, by the way, that show where I said they crushed a tortoise in one of those meat grinders, they crushed a tortoise shell, but in the thumbnail, it made it look like it was going to be a real tortoise. Those dicks. What a bunch of dicks. Like it popped up back on my feed today. I'm like, all right, I'm going to see. Because if this guy really kills a tortoise on YouTube, I'm going to find out where he lives. I'm going to fucking wait till he comes out at night to do something. And I'm going to beat him with a baseball bat.
I am the real Gizmo.
Multiplying with water.
Do you get that reference?
I do. It's a movie reference.
It is a movie reference.
My dog's named Gizmo. So yes, I know.
Good work, Derek.
I get that one. All right.
Flying monkey. I got that.
That's the Wizard of Oz thing.
It
God.
It's also the
we all
Avengers quote. Okay.
Freezing again.
Okay, there we go.
Hello.
You back again.
Okay. I'm back?
Yeah.
Sort of.
Okay, you ready? Let's roll.
Derek, I don't know what I have open. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you. It's fine. Are you ready?
Oh, yep.
We're playing. Son of a bitch. Thwarted.
Could potentially start for the U.S. Who are you going to rest players, etc. Tata doesn't tend to change much. His 11 for tomorrow night is already being tweeted out and discussed. When you know,
what is it? Do you know what it is? Can you tell me?
All right, I'm going to hit pause because now Derek's gone. All right, he'll jump back. I got you covered. Don't worry. I realize it's muted. Oh, no. What is it? What is it? Why is the internet playing against us? That's a big question. You know, oddly enough, Derek is now connecting his computer to his router. He's no longer wireless. See, did Derek respond yet? No. So, oh, there we are. Nope, not him. All right, let's keep going. Yes, the straight red card's back. This is the way to go, guys. I mean, I'm the one that everybody comes to see, obviously. Did Derek text you? Is that what he said? Oh, that bastard. Shit just crashed. That's what he said. The Mexico lineup really out? Nah. Well, what was Berhalter's stock answer for that? We're still working on that. Okay. I'm going to keep the sharing up because I feel like that's probably what crashed Derek's computer somehow. He needs to get a new computer. He claims that he bought a new computer. It's new. I'm like, yeah, but you can still buy shit new computers, man. Okay. Oh. Welcome back.
Motherfucker.
I was biding time, and I was about to follow suit with Chris's request here.
Which was?
Draw a wiener on Gregg's head.
So I attempted to close some tabs, and that totally destroyed everything. It's like Microsoft Edge, like its head went up its ass, out its throat, and back up its ass again, and just went buckled and crashed. Microsoft Edge, can you just basically work? Do I have to fucking close you down and restart you constantly? Why do you suck so bad? You're Microsoft. You should know how to run a basic fucking browser, you fucking idiots. All right, I'm done. All right, so where were we with the sullen Gregg? Let's do it.
I'm going to rewind so you can catch 5 seconds that you missed.
A lot more discussion about who could potentially start for the U.S. Who are you going to rest players, etc. Tata doesn't tend to change much. His 11 for tomorrow night is already being tweeted out and discussed. When you know
What is it? Do you know what it is? Can you tell me?
I could probably rattle it off right now, but
Go for it.
you know the players, and that's what my question is. Like, when you know this side so well, how does that affect your preparation when you face Mexico?
I just think it's understanding what type of game it's going to be. It's going to be a highly competitive game, and we know when these two teams come together, that's what type of game it produces, and we have to be up for that type of game, and we are. I think that one of the things the guys clearly understand is the type of game it's going to be and what it's going to take to compete and to win the game.
What did that guy ask? He asked, how does the fact that you know the Mexican team change your what? Your perspective?
Your approach to playing the game. I guess in Azteca compared to playing at home.
What a weird question. I hope that's not somebody we know and like.
I don't
'Cause
know.
that's-
But going off of Chris's comment here about ha ha ha, so funny, Greg.
Yeah, but seriously, that question was so nebulous. Like there's no real answer. How does that change the way you prepare? Because you know them better? What do you mean? It makes it easier for me. Thank you. The next question, please. That's the answer to that question.
You are getting some roasted here. Bunch of Derek uses Internet Explorer. Use Edge, old man. Jeez.
I know.
Derek, it's on you for using Edge.
That's the Scottish spelling of Derek. That's not the correct spelling. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah, I don't know who asked that question. But I mean, Greg kind of called him out like, hey, what were they saying? Can you tell me who?
Yeah.
He's just like, well, you know the players.
I mean, Gregg generally has an idea of what they're going to do, what Tata's going to do. And if he doesn't at this point, he's sleeping on something. That's why he was joking around about, well, if you know the starting 11, tell me who they are, because that'll help. But then the guy's like, knowing Mexico as well as you do, how does that change how you plan for the game? What kind of weird fucking question is that? Makes it easier to plan for the game because I kind of have an idea what they're going to do. Next question, please. That's how Bruce would answer it. He'd be kind of a snide, smirky, dude about that question. All right, go ahead. Unless you got
You're looking for that email, Felipe. Next, we've got Stephen Goff from the Washington Post.
Hey, Greg. Did you decide not to call up someone to replace Aronson? If not, why not? And would in the subsequent days someone come in for the remaining two matches?
Yeah, for this game, we're staying pat with 26 that we have in camp. We think it's enough in this particular game. It may change in the next game, but as of now, we're a 26-man roster.
God forbid we call up Sargent and just have him in camp.
Well, I mean, there was another person that posted something about this too. What I've got pulled up here. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. So Mike said that Canada may have COVID. Prior to that,
don't say COVID.
Dan W. Whatever, we already said it.
Rona.
Dan W. Said it was reported that Cannon wasn't on the field for training today, so I guess we're down Dest and Cannon. So if that's true, we're down to 25.
We're down to Yedlin and Robinson. And the fact that Acosta or Sands could play out there too if like an emergency sprung up. Right? So, yeah, it's not ideal. That's for sure. But
who do we bring in for Dest?
Well, listen, we didn't bring anybody in really for Dest, right? We just already knew he was out, so he was.
No, we brought Bello in.
Yeah, that's true. We did.
So
we got Bello too. Yeah,
two left backs and a right back.
Yeah, we don't need to use Acosta out there if we don't need to. So it's probably going to be Yedlin on the right. Would be my best guess.
But who backs Yedlin up now, though?
Especially
if assuming Cannon is infected with the beer bug.
Should have brought in Scally. I guess if that's the problem, you should have had him on the waiting list thing that supposedly exists. Yes, Bello's going to play left back, but he's not a right back.
No. This is while we were sitting there thinking about who else we had. But yeah, so that's
Oh.
that's two wingbacks at this point. So
Well, way to fool me. Thank you.
Well, no, I literally scrolled down. Yeah.
Way
But
to
no,
make me look like a moron.
So I mean, do you think they're going to fly Scally out, or do you think they're going to fly somebody like Lennon out now?
Well, let's just hope that Cannon doesn't really have the Rona, that it's something else minor, maybe just diarrhea or
I was
something.
going to say the shits, but
Yeah, because we don't know if that's true or not. All we do know is Gregg doesn't really intend to bring anybody else in unless people start dropping like flies. And if they do, yes, he's going to have to go to that reserve list. So can you call in replacement if someone gets? Yes, you can. Yes.
yeah,
In fact,
the roster's not, as far as I know, the roster's not solidified. I mean, he can call in players for injured players at any point now.
yeah, you have an endless amount. You could bring in 50 guys if you wanted to. Yeah, so
Don't you dare put that evil on me.
yeah, no, that ain't happening. Anti MLS. That's a hill to die on, I guess, but not for me. Let's see. All right, let's go on with Gregg. He's got a sense of humor today.
Ron Blum from Associated Press.
Hey, Greg.
Hey, Ron.
As you look at the decision on who to put in goal tomorrow, do you base it on your evaluation site, on Andy's evaluations, on metric data? How do you mix it all up and come up with the pick?
All the above. Thank you.
Aaron Hyde, I think you're referring to when you said Andy is our
This is
goalkeeper.
the toughest
Sorry.
question.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Or
no,
not
that's
tough
all right.
question.
That's all right.
Toughest thing to answer. Can't do it, guys.
It's all the above. I mean, we're gathering information. We're looking at games. We're looking at what type of services we're going to be faced. We're going to face what type of shots we're going to face. What goalie can play out of the back better. There's a whole number of things we're looking at, and it's difficult. It's not an easy decision. I think, they're both playing well. Or, Zach played well in his last game. He hasn't had many games before that, and Ethan's playing well. Sean's been playing every game for NYC, so it's not an easy decision. But we'll make it for who we think will help us win the game.
He just threw Sean in there at the end there. He's like, oh shit, I better mention Sean. But really, it's between Horvath and Stefan, and we all know this, folks. You know it, we know it. Who's better playing out of the back between Horvath and Stefan? I don't know. I mean, that's close because
Yeah, I was gonna say
Horvath's been doing really well.
There's
doing
arguably
that.
a big difference there.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's like if you have a great shot stopper and Turner, but crap with feet. You have good with your feet, Stefan. Still good shot stopper, don't get me wrong, but I feel like Horvath's like that middle of the road of everything right there. So I feel like
he answered that question in a longer way than he needed to. I mean, he rambled on nonsensically when he should have just said, "Listen, it's really all the above, and we all make that decision together." Okay.
Do you think it's possible that he rambled as long as he did to kind of give him an excuse for when he does place Stefan over Horvath?
I don't think he needs one. I think most people, if Stefan starts, they're going to be like, fine, Stefan starts. We're comfortable with that. I don't know a lot of people that are going to be up in arms if Stefan starts over Horvath.
Sure.
So there's no need to mumble around on this one.
You'll see
he should
when
get
the
a yellow
11.
card for time wasting. Yes, exactly. That was a longer answer than was necessary. And that's sort of the problem. Sometimes when you want a longer answer, you get a short one. And when you need just a short one, you get a long one.
Yeah.
Is Gregg sad? Miazga must have infiltrated camp. Yeah, Miazga is nowhere near camp, dudes. He's somewhere in Spain right now, wanking it. So he's not playing. He's got nothing else to do to exert energy at this point, except practice and wanking. All right, let's go on.
Next will be Jeff Carlisle from ESPN FC.
Along those lines, Greg, have you made a decision yet? I'm trying to read the tea leaves here. Have you made a decision yet on who's going to be in goal? And if so,
I think any lineup related questions, my stock answer is just going to be we're working through it. Even if I'd made a decision by now.
Straight up answered the question. I'm not telling you who's playing on my team tomorrow. I mean, who asked that kind of question?
Let's give Tata 24 hours to plan.
Yeah, you don't do that. You don't tell people who your 11 is going to be, any of the 11. I mean, he's done it on occasion. it's obvious Pulisic's probably going to start. So, yeah, Mexico's already got that box checked. But as far as your goalkeeper, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to let anybody know right up until it's game time. So, Horvath made good save against Firmino against Liverpool. Yeah.
Yeah, the same. He played Liverpool, only let in 1 goal. Sounds like he must have a decent game.
Yep. I thought he did. So, I mean, Horvath's playing well. This is not a shoo-in. I can only tell you that Johnson's not a part of this conversation. It's either Horvath or it's Stefan. The fact that he sprinkled a little Johnson in there is just so he could sprinkle a little Johnson in there.
Not an innuendo, guys. Come on.
It's not.
Get your head out of the gutter. Ready?
Yep.
I like how we're 4 minutes into this and we're already at 30 minutes in the show. So
we're doing
there
really
goes
good. We're doing so good. Thank God this is short.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Next would be Doug McIntyre from Fox.
Go, Doug. Go, Doug.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks, Greg. I don't blame Jeff for trying. You've given us some these calls. Yeah, I asked Christian something similar, but the 3 wins last year, the 3 consecutive wins over this Mexican team, what does that do for the confidence going into tomorrow? Thanks and good luck, Greg.
Thank you. I just think it's an evolution. When you look at our team, and those 3 wins, you almost see growth in each of those games, culminating in the last one in the qualifier where, the guys were really, really confident going into the game. So, I do think it adds some confidence, but you can't let our guard down. I mean, our record here is horrendous. The odds are against us getting something out of this game, right? We know that. We realize that. And that's just how it is. And we're focused on going in and being difficult to play against, competing. But we certainly do have confidence from how we grew as a team in those 3 games.
Yeah, at least he's being real. Our record is horrendous in Azteca. It's bad. It's really bad. But
yeah,
it's little expectation setting, though.
I was going to say, do you think the phrase where he's like, we're going to go there and hope to be competitive, or we're going to play competitively, that makes it sound like we're not going to play our high press. We're not going to take too many chances. We're going to play a little more conservatively, maybe go for that draw or that win, which is counter to what he would normally play. Yeah. I just think that when you say, like, oh, we're going to go and play competitively, it just sounds like you're kind of already prepping for an excuse saying, hey, shit record there. It happens.
Yeah. I mean, it sort of does lower expectations, but he is being truthful.
Yeah.
We have been horrendous at Azteca. I mean, generally. But, he's the code words, evolution, growth, those things. And those kind of things get annoying after a while. But, I mean, I don't have any problem with what he just said there.
Mm-hmm. Anti-MLS says, I like nobody asked about John Brooks. Well, I mean, they kind of bashed him hardcore in the last presser on that one.
Yeah, if you missed our last show with Gregg Pressers, go watch that because they bashed the fuck out of him for Brooks. So
it'd be nice to have. I'm not gonna lie, but
yep, he would be. But
we're here. This is the better one.
It is.
At this point, we should be talking about what type of wingback can we bring in? Such short notice.
You mean left back, right back? We don't really.
Same difference.
We don't.
Potato.
No, we don't play wingback. God damn it, Brett. We're not having this argument on air.
I've got this board over here. I know which button to push to get Derek riled up, guys.
If we play 3 in the back, that's a wingback.
All right, next question. Here we go.
If we play 4 in the back, they're right backs and left backs. They're not wingbacks. All right. Oh, that's an argument we had in public. I mean, we had in private in public too.
Hey Greg, you're doing well. With Tyler Adams on a yellow card, I'm wondering if you have any plans in place to account for that. Are you going to use him strategically in any particular matches?
Is this Meg?
Yeah, we have Tyler Adams, DeAndre Yedlin, Zach Steffen, Jordan P. Falk, and one other player on the yellow, and Timmy Weah. And guys have to be smart. If you think about it, they have 1 yellow in 11 games.
That's ridiculous.
So it's not, it's not like they're getting yellows every game, but there still needs to be caution because if they do play, we want them available for the next game. And that's going to be something that, there'll be conversations around that. And, you hope for a little bit of luck. You hope for a little bit of discretion by the referee. and you hope for some intelligence by our players to be smart when they're picking up fouls and what type of challenges they're going into.
All right. First of all, I don't live in my parents' basement. I haven't lived with my parents since I was 17-year-old. 17-year-old kid. I moved out of my house. So can we stop that? That's just ridiculous. I was just defending people who did live in their parents' basement. There's nothing wrong with it if they do. I just don't like people who attack other people and say, "Oh, you just live in your parents' basement." Well, have you looked at our economy lately? Yeah, a lot of people have to live with their parents now. I am not one of them, but let's give them all a break, okay? Let's be nice to those people.
Here's that board pushing buttons again. Derek, I think it'd be absolutely hysterical. We probably need to work this out with your mom, but we need to get you going on that rant again. And as you're doing that, she needs to walk behind you with a load of laundry. Because, that would be great.
Brett has visited me at my parents' when I've been visiting my parents and had dinner with us, but I don't live there. You know what? I'd like to. I'd like to get the fuck out of Bloomington, actually. So maybe I will go live with my parents soon, if they'll have me, which they probably won't because I'm a pain in the ass. As far as this question, what the fuck was the question?
Yellow card accumulation.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like Greg's like, hey, guys just need to be careful. But you know what? It's Mexico versus USA, and careful ain't going to cut it.
Yeah. That game's going to get chippy, man. We've seen the last 3 games, and we've seen what happened,
Yeah.
To that point, though, he talks about how all these players, they've accrued one yellow card in 11 games so far. So, it's not like they're just, racking up the yellow cards, saying that these are going to be some very chippy games. But I will say, I saw an argument on Twitter earlier today. I think Justin Moran. I think that's how you say his last name. He may not have been the first person to say this, but he was the one that I saw post it. But, you take the chance if you hold Adams out on the Mexico game for the Panama game of just having him available for the Panama game. Say if he plays the Panama game and gets a yellow card, he's not in for Costa Rica.
Yep.
So you take the chance. Do you take the chance of them getting the second yellow in the Mexico game, missing the Panama game, but then being available for the Costa Rica game? So you can make the argument both ways. I'm saying that there's a way that you can do it and not necessarily risk certain players. We talked about playing Acosta as the 6 instead of Adams. And he's played well against Mexico in the past, and he's coming off of a hot game, so that's a viable option. But, you do kind of want to go into every game with your solid starting 11.
And then others have pointed out that if Adams plays against Panama and gets a yellow, he's only going to play 1 game out of 3 games in the window. Yeah, it's going to be, listen, I guess it's going to be up to Gregg at the end. It's going to be up to him talking to the players and him being comfortable with the fact that they're not going to do something stupid. Because let's face it, Adams yellow in this window, which, by the way, is ridiculous that 1 yellow.
You can go 11 games with 1 yellow and then suffer it at the last window.
Absolutely stupid. Yep.
So saying that though, we could take the chance. You could take the chance, throw Adams in there. If he gets a yellow, that means Acosta's starting against Panama, and that's not a terrible thing. Again, Acosta's not a bad 6 option, regardless of who we're playing at this qualifier. So
yeah, I don't think it's a deal breaker either way. Yeah, honestly.
And then after Acosta's yellow, I'm not really overly concerned about too many other people's yellows.
And honestly, the fact that Adams isn't playing that much right now for Leipzig, I don't know. I know that Adams is a better player than Acosta, but he's not a better set piece taker. Like Acosta has his strengths over Adams, but Adams has his strengths over Acosta. Adams knows where to be on defense, and he knows how to stop a counter, and he just has a great sense of the field, whereas Acosta doesn't have that same sense, but boy, can he kick a fucking set piece ball into a box. So yeah, that's kind of a bonus.
This is more or less the point that I was trying to make. We're good enough to win against Panama at home with Acosta at 6.
Yep, I'd agree with that. So I guess we're changing our tune then. Go ahead and play Adams in Mexico.
I'd be fine either way, is what I'm saying. But Acosta does bring that grit that you saw. We saw in the Nations League Cup. We saw in the Gold Cup. Yeah, he's always up in there. He's if there's ever a scuffle, he's one of the first people up in there. Pushing, shithousering and all that shit. So
yep. All right. Come on, Greg.
We'll go to Charlie Bohm from MLSsoccer.com.
Charlie.
Hi, Greg. Yesterday, Tyler, or maybe it was Monday, sorry, spoke about the natural nerves that come in high stakes environments like this, but players working through it and focusing on the task at hand. And I wanted to ask you that if you're up for sharing a bit of kind of what this feels like for you, where this ranks in terms of your coaching challenges and your sort of mental outlook as you find that balance between maybe projecting confidence, but also, making sure everyone understands the stakes.
Yeah, it's a great question, Charles. And one thing I told the staff in our meeting as we started camp was, this is probably the biggest week of our lives as professional coaches, and that's just honest. I've coached in Columbus and I coached an MLS final and stuff like that. And what I reassured the group is we've all coached in 3 games before. We've been through qualifying already. We've coached a lot of games before, and we have a process, and just stick to the process. And I think that's what's making it easy both for the staff and the group, is we just stick to the way we work. It's been successful so far, and that's what we continue to do. And I think the second thing is just staying in the moment. And instead of getting ahead of ourselves, it's just being present in the moment, paying attention in the moment, and going from there.
Very existential. Seriously, very, very existential.
Oh, and a great way to stop on him too. I think the process they have, I think, works fine as a whole. I don't think there's been a single game where we've come out looking shaky, except for, say, Panama for obvious reasons, and maybe Honduras for the first half for obvious reasons. Every other game we start off strong for the first 20, 25 minutes, and then at that point it kind of down if it's gonna go down at all. Sometimes there's some games where it just continues to go up, but I think the key at that point would be not only to obviously work on calming the nerves, but also making sure they stay focused moving forward throughout the entire game, not just having those mental lapses that they seem to have from time to time.
Being present and being conscious and self-aware and realizing this is where I need to be right now. I can't be thinking about the past. I can't be thinking about the future. I need to be thinking about what's going on right now. It isn't a very important thing. And, there's a mentality that's a thing that's very hard for a lot of younger people to get to, right? It's not easy. But the one thing that's great about soccer, when you get on the pitch and you're about to play a game, like everything else just shuts off. For me, it did. And I'm like, I'm fucking playing soccer. This is going to be great, And I don't care about anything else. I don't care about, the B- I just got in algebra that my mom's going to yell at me about. I didn't care about any of that shit, right? I just knew that, I was going to be focused on the task at hand, and I was going to fucking have fun. And if that's how everybody feels going to the game, I think we're going to be good. But, I'm glad that Gregg brought it up. Didn't get that deep into it, but I get what he's saying. I mean, but the problem with all this language is it's becoming rather cliche. Like a lot of people say, we're taking it a game at a time. We're going to stay present in the moment. You hear a lot of this shit, but it really glosses over what really is a real thing. But the cliche sort of spoils the reality of being a player in a big moment like that, and how in tune and how focused you have to be on what's in front of you right now. And I just did a way better job at explaining that than Gregg. All right.
But you got a yellow card for time wasting there. I also liked how you primed everybody and got them ready for our grading scale coming up here on Friday. We're not doing it. Well, technically, we're not doing it Friday morning. We'll be doing our show probably Friday night, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Because that game for us is at 10 o'clock, guys.
Yeah.
Which means we're looking at midnight. I've got to go to work the next day still.
Yep.
So,
yep.
It's gonna be rough. But every window we get the same question when it comes to our grading scale. You gave him a B-. You said he played poorly. I don't understand. Or you gave him a C+. You said he played poorly. I'm like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I might contact Tact and see if I can bump into his halftime show and make a few comments or so. But other than that, we're not going to be doing a live show tomorrow after the game because it's going to be midnight.
Way too late.
That's way too late. So we're gonna sleep on the game, and we're gonna hopefully.
Oh, we're gonna watch the game.
We're gonna watch it, not like literally sleep on it.
Take a picture of me on the TV,
just drooling while we're up 2-0 or down 2-1. I don't know. Anyhow, all right, let's continue with Gregg because he looks like a zombie.
It matters. Tyler's comments were yesterday. We will go to Grant Wall.
Go Grant. Go Grant.
I'm nitpicking today, huh?
Get in your place, Mike.
Sorry, Grant. Sorry to interrupt you.
I mean, you became a national team coach. You were a club coach before this. And the previous question was about sort of the gravity of these games. Could you describe what the adjustment has been like for you to go from a club coach to a national team coach and have so many fewer games with such great importance, to have so much time to sort of look forward to and prepare for, and how that impacts you?
Before we get into his answer, doesn't that feel like that should have been like a question for like maybe like the last presser? But
or like a year ago.
It's literally Monday. Oh, not Monday. Sorry, it's literally Wednesday. Tomorrow, 25 hours from now, he's going to be on the field, coaching the game.
Yep.
Why are we asking about the transition from a club to the national team at this stage?
Yeah. The only person that's asked him that question so far, and it was a year ago, was Alexi Lawless. And he said, don't you think you're going to have to make some compromises? You're just not going to have that amount of time to work with these guys that you do as a club coach. And at the time, Gregg said, yes, they're going to have to be compromises. You didn't specify which ones, but I guess, yes, the answer is it's very different. I mean, we'll let Gregg speak for himself.
I'm sure he's got a good answer for us.
Yeah, I think that's it. When you're at a club, it's a building type of thing. And when you're at a national team, I think it's a winning type of thing. And you're focused. My mindset had to change, to be much more about winning every game. That's what we want. That's
I kind of want to pause this, but
winning also means qualifying. But when you think about, winning Nations League and winning Gold Cup, it was important for the mentality of this group to understand that this is why we're playing this thing. And in the same time, building a strong culture. So, building a group of guys that are resilient, that care for each other, that want to work together. So it's a little bit of that club attitude, but with the mindset that we're here to win games.
God.
Yeah, this was basically what I want to answer. It's like, I feel like it was a building process, and at the club level, and then at the national team level, it's a winning process. I'm sure they don't want to win at the club level.
I'm sure when he went in for his interview with Columbus Crew, they said, "So, what are you all about, Gregg?" He's
all about really, building.
It's not really about winning; it's about building. Wait.
We're in a building right now.
We already got
and play the game, right?
The building part's done. It's got stadium. We got fans coming to the game.
We got
don't worry about the building stuff.
Don't worry about that. Yeah, we got people for that.
I think you've been hanging out and fucking around with your Legos again. All right. Yeah. Seriously. I mean, come on. That's a fucked up answer to that question. But if he could have put it in a different way, he would have said, listen, you have just a longer time to build on a club team, build a culture, build a system, whereas here you don't. And you just have to go jump straight for the clitoris and go for the win. So there you go.
So then that's what I was expecting to say too. You have all season long to really build up and develop the team into the team you want, whereas here you don't have that much time. Because I was already primed to say, well, then why the fuck are we playing such a complex system that newbies take 3 windows just to adjust to?
Yep.
Why are we doing that at the national team level? But he didn't go there. It apparently was all about winning. And don't get me wrong, he's got a great win record.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't been the prettiest wins, and we've heard other people talk about that too. But
he does need to win and keep winning. So he's got that part right. I don't know about the building part, but we'll work on that.
I was just like so thrown for a loop. That's a building, and then you gotta get wins over here.
Believe me,
I like being back at Lincoln Logs. Oh, that was so much fun.
Lincoln Logs, yeah. I'm sure none of those words were used in his interview with Columbus Crew or Hammerby, wherever else he was before that. All right, let's move it along.
Next would be Paul Tenorio from The Athletic.
Go, Paul.
Go, Paul.
Go, Paul.
Thanks, Greg. I wonder when and I suppose if you're weighing how to manage minutes. I know you're still working through that. How do you weigh something like Christian Pulisic's current form and trying to maybe capture some of that momentum, some of that confidence, while also weighing how to maximize his impact across the totality of the window? Thank you.
Yeah,
Man.
so, I mean, we're pretty much there with the plan, and a lot of it was looking at looking at what they've been doing with their clubs, looking at what we're trying to do in this window, and then merging it together. If you think about it, so if you haven't been playing a lot for your club, it's going to be difficult to play 3 games, and we understand that. So
Adams.
we have a plan for the games. Now it's about executing. But one thing is we want to win all 3 games, and we take it one game at a time, and we're going to put a team on the field in Mexico that's going to try to win the game.
All right.
Of course, they are.
I mean, that question again is it's so nebulous. It's like, I guess if you ask a really specific question and the answer is really short, you just blew your question, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, this whole thing about how do you weigh his form and then capture his confidence and fucking then stretch it over 3 games. Man, that's a fucking nebulous ass question. Does people not have like a very specific thing they want to know something about? Because this is not a question that's going to get an answer that will give you much of anything to go on.
Can you define the word is?
Yeah, it's like, we want to. Greg's just going to say, we want to win all the games, and we're going to try to bring the best parts from their club to the country.
I will say the whole. I've lived a decade under the whole trust the plan with Chicago Fire, and that was horrible to live through. So when he's like, we got a plan, I'm just like, okay. Let's wait and see it.
It's just, I know Paul's trying, but he probably needs to smoke less weed before he comes up with this question.
Projection. Oh.
Or maybe he needs to smoke more weed. I don't know which one it is. Because that's just not a question I would have ever asked at a press conference.
That's too much. Then you might ask Gregg, Gregg, do you feel your hair growing?
It's like a cloudy, murky question where you could get the basic answer. You already know the answer is what it's going to be. So it's like you're just throwing up a cloud, a puffy cotton ball, and Gregg's just going to grab it. He's going to pinch it, and he's going to move on. And you already know what the pinch is going to say when he pinches it. So, Matt Marata, I jumped on 2 minutes ago, and I'm already tired of Gregg's coach speak cliches. It's something he needs to work on for sure.
So could he have a speaker board or an audio board as well? So when a question comes, he'll find that's number 4, and he hits 4, and then it plays the audio clip.
I'll do it for him.
And then that way he doesn't have to put any effort into it because, you get a lot. The problem is there's a lot of the same questions being asked every presser. Everything's the same.
For this one, he could have pushed question 5, beep, and then it would have been a big box.
We got a plan. We're going to keep it going.
Well, we are going to make sure that Pulisic's form at club is carried over to country, and then we are going to make sure that we as a team focus just one game at a time. Thank you. Next question. Paul Tenorio. Paul Tenorio, your question sucked. Thank you. Next question.
Gregg, you started sounding a lot like Gizmo there. Are you Gizmo the dog?
I'm just imagining they'd use a different voice in the background, so Gregg could just sit there and smirk.
Sorry, I'm laughing at the chat here. I'm going to play a series of chats here. So
okay. Hey, Gregg, boxers or briefs?
So we got to laugh on that one, and then all of a sudden, bam.
Looks like a thong guy. I'm pretty much sure he's the kind of guy that wears. You remember your grandpa wore those long underwear? That's probably Gregg. Those long underwears.
And 100% guaranteed now. Gregg is Gizmo.
So there was the Gizmo voice, folks. I didn't mean to do it, but I did.
Aldea in Dallas. Abraham, would you mind helping me the pronunciation of your last name?
Smith.
Hello, Coach. Abraham Noodles here with Aldea.
Oh my God! Monster there.
Coach, what happened to Ricardo Pepe after he moved from the MLS to Germany? how is he coping with 5 months without scoring? And are you worried about Ricardo?
You know, I think Ricardo can better answer that question than I can.
Oh,
what I would
God.
say
I'm
is
great,
that
guys.
any player takes time to adapt to a new league.
Absolutely.
And you know, and he's a young player, and I think there's a lot of expectations on him, and it's just adapting to the Bundesliga. It's a fast-paced game. It's a difficult game. He's getting used to his teammates and used to how they play, and you know, we're confident with his skill set he's going to be okay. But I think we should give him time. I think that's understandable, and that's what we're doing as a group and as a coaching staff.
What happened to Pepe, and why is he still a virgin? I mean, come on, this is horrible. That was a great question, though. You would punch Pepe right in the fucking nutsack. I wish Pepe was there to answer that question so he could answer it himself. But you know, why? How is he coping to not scoring in 5 months? I love that. That was like bam, right in the fucking testicles. And you know, Greg's like, "Hey, ask him, dude."
Yeah. I guess he's doing okay. I mean, he's come in the past couple windows and put in the efforts, and really didn't have anywhere to go with that. Yeah, that question as a whole. Again, that would have been better for Pepe, but maybe Pepe wasn't available for questions.
I mean, let's just pretend for a second that when Pepe got to Augsburg and shit started going south and he wasn't playing anymore, and we pretend that he would pick up the phone and call Gregg Berhalter to cry on his shoulder. Do you think Gregg would talk about that? Well, you know, Pepe and I, Pepe's called me late at night sometimes, and he's weeping, and he's very sad about his experiences in Germany. So far, he's having a really rough time. But, you know, talk to Pepe about it. Really, it's been tragic. No, he's not going to say that. So I like the question because it was so off the wall. But other than that,
Chris does say it was a terrific question if you ask him. And I think it would have been better if at the end of that he would have said, "Hey, you know, how does Pepe handling the fact that he hasn't scored in 5 months, and why was he called in over other players?"
And then Gregg should have said, "When you say score, do you mean goals or in the clubs or whatever?" Anyhow, but it was fine. I like that kind of hard hitting, even as weird as it was. I'd rather have some weirdo show up and ask that kind of question than somebody who doesn't show up and ask any question
Derek,
at all.
what was his last name again?
Ferio. I don't know. Whatever it is, I need to see the spelling of it to even have a chance, because the way he pronounced it, I'm like, what? How do you even spell that shit? Do you have to use like special dots and shit?
Like, here he goes. What do you mean by score?
You know exactly what I mean, Harry.
Yeah, I mean this.
Yeah, I mean, he's grown up in this digital age. I'm pretty sure Pepe knows what German do-girls are. Pretty sure. I'm sorry, but kids are watching that shit way before they should be these days. They all have a laptop and they're jerking it in the other room. They're your kids and you don't even know it. But
so, anti-MLS, did you mean to name 2 different players here at the end?
I feel Pepe is going to be the new Freddie Adu. Nah, no.
Well, Freddie Adu. Not Adu.
Yeah,
so
Freddie
you named 2 different players. Freddie Adu and then Adu.
No, I feel Pepe is going to be the new Freddie Adu.
Adu is with an A, Derek.
We all know who we're talking about.
I know that. I made a joke. The fact that he named 2 different players there. Come on.
I don't get the question.
There you go. Thank you.
No, he's going to be the new Maurice Adu. I always pronounced Maurice Adu and Freddie Adu the same way, even though it's an A on one and an E on the other. So, all right.
Autocorrect a few, and then when I would have said fat fingers.
But no, he's not going to be a Freddie Adu. That's... First of all, he doesn't have a sponsorship from Campbell's, so we're safe. All right, let's move on.
Not selling vacuum cleaners.
Right. Oh, low blow.
It has to be Ives Galarcep from SBI Soccer.
I'm kind of surprised they gave Ives another question after our Monday show.
2 separate topics for you. Try to keep it brief.
That's a shocker.
try to keep it close. First one is Jesus
It's not
Pereira.
brief.
A year ago, I remember you played him head forward, and everyone was kind of like, "What is this experiment about?" Fast forward, here we are. He's playing there for FC Dallas under Nico, and is really kind of evolving in that position. What do you think about his growth in that role, and how have you seen him improve in that role? The second completely unrelated question is about the Panama game coming up. There's a sense how important that game is, and maybe you should be looking at that game to play your quote-unquote best team. Do you consider that a crazy idea, given the importance of the Mexico game and the
Wrap it up, Vibes. Wrap it up,
Mexico
man.
also not being in the best of form, or do you kind of see the idea behind it? Do you see the logic behind it?
Listen, I don't know what something I was reading or listening.
It's a straight red card, Greg.
Reading or listening or absorbing through my skin. I'm not sure how it happened, but this is what happened.
Before camp, when I'm in camp, I shut off all outside media. But
Except for us.
Before it, I heard that argument. We should play a B team, and what I did is I took it to the staff and we debated it. We looked at all sides of it. We said, "Hey, does this have merit?" And I think it was an important exercise to do for us to be able to do that. And we came out with our answer, and you'll see tomorrow. But it's certainly, there's no harm in looking at both sides of this thing. And we know that the Panama game will be an important game, but we also know that Mexico will be an important game. We also know Costa Rica has the potential to be an important game. So our mindset is one game at a time. Regarding Jesus, I think he's been doing a great job. And what Jesus is going to have to come to terms with is that, he may not always score a hat trick, but he can still be a very effective player on the team, given his skill set.
How often does he score a
I
hat
talked
trick?
after the El Salvador game. I was happy with his performance. I was happy what he did. Okay, he missed a couple chances.
I'll take a goal.
That, he's certainly going to regret that. But overall, I thought he played a good game. And he's such a good soccer player, such a smart soccer player that, he makes it easy for those around him. And that's what you're seeing at Dallas. Not only did he score a hat trick on the weekend, he also had an assist. So,
Bing, bing, bing.
An excellent
Solid
player.
game.
I thought highly of him from the first day we worked with him, and we're, ecstatic when he changed over to our country from Colombia. And, we think he can be a big part of this program.
Yeah, they no longer call him Jesus at practice anymore. They call him Jesus. They moved it on up to the next level.
Jesus, was that a third goal?
What a fucking hat trick! Jesus Christ! So,
no, it is Ferreira.
But I do like I do like Ives pontificating there and just going on and on and on. But yeah, being the fact that Ives asked him the hardest question in the last press conference, it was nice to see him just come back and try to do a little more poking around. And,
I like the little poking back that Greg gave to him.
Yeah, I
got two questions. Of course you do.
Yep, and I think that's something Gregg should learn from, because I think that worked, and it's working right now. This is one of the better interviews he's done. He's not really answered any real questions, but at least he's looked, mildly amused doing so. And that, I think, is positive. I mean, you don't want to watch an interview and just be like, God, this guy it's like fucking watching paint dry. And it generally is, you're not going to learn much, but at least he can smile and have a laugh or something, and you can move on with that. But I like the fact they had a big debate. They had a big debate with the staff.
Do we go A squad or do we go B squad?
They had two podiums with fucking, microphones and people standing behind the, what are those called? The stanchion or whatever, and they got their prepared remarks, and there's a judge, and he says, all right, you begin with your first debate, your first argument, and we'll give you 5 minutes for your argument. I don't think that's probably how that went, but that seems to lead me to believe they're going to start the best team they could possibly, the best team they think we have right now.
I think the debate went, Greg goes, yeah, I think we're going to try to start our best team. Everyone's like, okay.
We're going to go.
That's a great
it.
idea. I'm going to go with that too, guys.
Yeah.
That was my idea. That's my idea.
We're going to go for it. We're going to try to win in Mexico. And that means that Areola's not starting. And it means Roldan's not starting. So, okay, we're off to a good start if those are the two things that you just started saying. But he didn't say that, but he could have. If we get 9 points this window, we can still end up in pot one. Yeah, I mean, it's possible.
I thought pot one was already picked outside of Italy that's got the little caveat of actually qualifying in order to be in pot one.
No, it's based on your World Cup ranking, so it
But
depends.
I thought that was already. I thought they've already announced the pot one.
They might have.
I think they've already announced the seeds. Now, again, Italy. I thought I saw Italy in there, and it had a little caveat.
Italy's not even fucking qualified. How can they be in there?
That's what I'm sure. That if you go down below and look at the footer, it says
asterisk,
assuming that they qualify.
Yeah.
And isn't that a funny? I mean, isn't that kind of a funny situation that we're in? That a team that's running through the playoff could possibly be in pot one. I mean,
I don't know how you put I don't know how you put a pot together when you don't even know who's qualified yet. So I'm not sure I believe that there's a real World Cup pot yet. If there is, somebody let us know in the comments, because I think that's something I would have heard of already. Just me. All right, let's go. Let's do it. Come on, Greg. Come on, Greg. Take another question, Greg.
Bobby Creditor from Sports Illustrated.
Yes, I.
Thanks, Michael. Greg, I was just wondering if you could tell us your lineup. Just kidding. In other windows, what happens in other matches on a given night might not be as impactful in the moment, but there is a path for you to qualify tomorrow night, despite all the focus on the future games. So I guess what, if any, setup do you have to monitor those other matches during the game? How much do you personally want to know what's going on elsewhere? And if you find out that Panama is losing and Costa Rica is not winning, will you adjust on the fly and perhaps change your approach?
Oh, man. It's a difficult question. I think, in the back of our mind, we're going to be, trying to get the understanding what the score lines are of the opponents. But again, it's for us just to go in focused on this game. It's I think it was mentioned that this may be the last qualifier in Mexico, between Mexico and the U.S. And it's just for us, it's just a great event. We're really happy and proud to be playing in this game. And we want to be really focused on this game. And the guys they see when they came in the camp, they're really focused on this game. We have the big goal of qualifying, but this is also a great opportunity for this group. And we're looking forward to it. I think that, that single-minded focus is going to be there in the game tomorrow.
All right. Well, I mean, it's a pretty good answer. I don't know what else he could have said.
Mm-hmm.
What was the question? I really can't even remember what the fuck it was.
5 minutes later, we're hitting pause again. We're like, what the hell is that about?
What the fuck question did he ask that could be answered in such a fucking gigantic, cloudy way, murky way? It's like, yeah, okay. But, yeah, we're going to go to Mexico. We're going to try to win. It's pretty simple. Whatever that question was.
What happens if I... Okay. So I don't know... What the hell? Go away.
We're on FIFA?
Yeah. So it says the Red Devils will join pot one by the other top-placed European teams in the ranking: France, England, Portugal, Spain, Italy, Croatia, Denmark, Germany, and Netherlands.
Or? Shouldn't it say or?
Well, that can't be 100% accurate. I mean, those are all just European teams.
Yeah, that's bullshit. And besides, Italy and Portugal have not qualified yet.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's subject to change. Obviously, because it's on FIFA's page.
As long as we can get into pot two, I'm not worried about pot one. As long as you're in pot two, you're good to go. So if we get to pot two, that's gravy. And if
we've had this debate before, getting in pot two might actually be better because you could get in the hosts group. You can get in Qatar, and I'm not saying that it would be an easy win by any means, but I'm just saying if you look at the other teams that are in pot one, that would be a suitable argument you can make, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right,
but I don't know. Regardless, this is. Oh, that's UEFA. Never mind. Somebody just pointed it out.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Well done.
Didn't read well enough. Good catch.
We'll take two more questions for Greg and start with Drake Hills from the Tennessean.
Yeah,
Drake.
Thanks for taking the time, Greg. Just wanted to ask you, I'm not trying to couple this game against Mexico with Panama, but just given that this is full window that you guys are managing to try and qualify for. What constitutes what in selection? Like, is it form? Is it against Mexico and then going up against Panama? Is it form? Is it leadership? Especially when a guy maybe like Jordan Pefok, who's coming in for the first time in a while. How do you go about judging, preparing for what his assignment may be against Mexico or against Panama? What's their base for that in terms of logic?
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at this, or I know you look at the strengths and weaknesses of the opponent and what players have a skill set to exploit that. It's really common at the national team level. You're blessed with a lot of good players, and then it's about the specific attributes that they have that can be successful against this opponent. And ideally, you'd like every player coming in with their best form. It's not always the case, and sometimes you may have to stretch it based on how well you think this person can perform against the opponent that you're playing. And sometimes you give your player a little bit more credit, even though he's not in the best form. And I don't think it's an exact science to it, but the starting point is how they match up against the opponent. I think that's very important.
What are these dudes smoking that are asking these questions? Because they are up way too late at night coming up with them. It's amazing how non-straightforward these questions allow so much latitude for Gregg to answer them.
A lot of wiggle room.
Yeah, Gregg, it's easy. And he answered it just fine. It was a nebulous question. You got a nebulous answer. There you go. But the problem is nobody's asking anything specific. So that's the issue.
It could be anybody, but it could be everybody.
Yeah. Very general. Listen, I'm not trying to do their jobs. All right. I did that job before. I've already done soccer reporting. Did it. Done doing it. Now I do this. But it's not like the question that you want to ask should be pretty much two things: obvious and what the fans want to know. It's that simple. It's not about you concocting your next article. It's about you getting to the crux of what people want to know about the team.
I feel like asking what the fans want to know would drive more traffic to your article than a broad generalization question. So
Meg asked Pulisic about chess and things he does to relax before a game. Dude, that's something I'm interested in. Like, I'd like to know what their hobbies are, what music they listen to. I like that kind of stuff. So for me, she could have asked him another softball, like generalized bullshit question, or she just got in depth with him and said, "Hey, what do you do?"
Yeah, look at her question. She asked Gregg. Gregg with Adams being on a yellow, are you going to play it any differently? And then he gave the overall broad thing, like, we can't play it any differently. We have so many players, X, Y, and Z. Right. But at least it was a straightforward question, and she ended up getting. We all got a straightforward answer. Basically saying, "Nah, I'm not playing any different. I can't play any different. Sorry."
These questions do not need to be transcendental. They do not need to be soul changing, shifting. They just need to be like, let's get to the crux of what's really going on here, and let's ask that question. Because otherwise it just gets down to exactly that. You get non-answers, or you get very nebulous answers that really are just coach speak. And that's doing none of us any good. Mm-mm. So anyhow, at least Gregg was enjoying himself today. Here we go. Last one.
Love you, man. Glad you can listen.
Last question comes from Nico Contour from CBS.
Hey, Gregg. I know you've preached this.
Hey, Gregg.
Mentality for obviously
Hi,
entire
Mark.
qualifiers you've spoken about. When you talk to the other coaches that were at the national team before, like that, you'll never ever have everybody healthy. It's like not even logical to assume that you'll have everybody healthy, right? But when you're missing a player like Weston McKennie, who in my eyes, and I don't want to speak for my colleague, but I believe they would also think he's irreplaceable.
I don't care about you or your colleagues.
Like, next man up doesn't apply for a player like Weston, right?
That's true.
To this game that is so big, how do you fill that void, and how do you keep the confidence up in this team when.
Hold on, did you see that?
What?
I think the camera guy started falling asleep.
Oh, the camera
I'm gonna go back for just a second, okay, guys?
Okay.
Watch this.
When you're, how do you keep
Nodding
confidence
off.
in this team when you're missing a player that's as important as Weston?
So I do want to cut into this because I actually do like the question.
It's a
because
funny question, man.
The hefty chunk of that question. It was a long question, but the hefty chunk had to lead up to it because it's sort of like cut Berhalter off at the knee from an answer. Like, you're never going to have everybody healthy at the same time, and you can never replace a Weston McKennie, but we're going to have to, But he kind of cuts off, and it's like, hey, I want to specifically focus on this part over here, but it took me 10 minutes to get to that point.
Greg could say something like, well, I know he is irreplaceable, so when he's gone, what we do is we hire a bunch of hookers, we buy a bunch of liquor, and we throw a huge party for the team, and we do it until 3 a.m. before the game the night before. So that pretty much encompasses a lot of the off-field things that McKennie brings to the team. Now, I'm sure he didn't say that, but
yeah,
you could have a good time with this based on, McKennie's history. But, I mean, go back. Was Gregg told to smile? Did y'all hear that whisper?
Does he have a personality coach up to the side? Like, smile.
Lightly grin. Just lightly grin here.
Chortle. I didn't hear anything.
I didn't either, but
I'm not taking that out of the equation. I feel like that might fall into canon, guys.
I think before Gregg came out in this interview, they already
at gunpoint.
Before Gregg came out in this interview, they'd already held him down to the ground and shot him up with like heroin or something. So,
Greg, this is your PR team. They're going to coach you on how to become more personable during these pressers.
He's already, because he's had a good time through this whole thing. Like, he's pretty euphoric. He's chuckling and smiling at every question. So, yeah.
All right, let's get to his answer.
Please.
Well, first of all, I think you got the Oscar for the most drama in your question. Well done. Great job. You really
so that you don't tell me the typical answer.
You really brought the drama.
He woke up. The cameraman woke up.
I said it before. When you think about Weston, he's probably one of the best midfielders in our region, right? I mean, you could make that argument. When you think about Serginho Dest, probably the best right back in our region, right? Brendan Aronson, a top winger in our region. Chris Richards, big potential as a center back. Matt Turner. There's guys that are missing. And Weston is a hard guy to replace. There's no question about it. At right back, we have a larger depth chart, and it's not easy.
Are you
but there's
questioning
guys
if Gregg
there
wears
that have
pants?
played and been part of qualifying. But really, when you look at it, we knew this was going to be the case, right? And I said it to you a long time before. I said, you don't have all your guys, and it's how you respond when you don't have your guys that's important.
You get
And
knocked down.
that's what we have to do this window. It's not about looking back. It's about staying in the present, focusing on who's here, who's in camp, who's ready to play, and go out and compete. Because one thing I'll tell you, Nico, is that these guys can compete. Everyone we have on this roster right now, all 26 of them can compete, and that's what it's going to take in this window.
Thank you, Gregg, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us this afternoon. Have a good day.
Bro wasn't there.
No, they got rid of Bro.
Like,
They cut
shit.
Bro out.
It was his personality coach.
Something like that.
Nova versus LHS or LYH, and they're tied 1-1 in the Open Cup. So okay, that kind of takes me to a thing I wanted to bring up real quick. This brief minute. We talked about why was the announcement? Why was the announcement for the roster on ESPN and not like on their actual YouTube channel? Why not drive more people to YouTube, their YouTube channel, and start something? We talked about that ad nauseum for the entire segment. But USSF's actually broadcasting a lot of the first round games of the US Open Cup. And mind you, they would never make TV of any form, but they're broadcasting them on their YouTube channel. And
That's nice.
There's 424 people watching this match against Lynchburg FC and Nova FC.
Okay.
So I don't know. It's nice to see that they're actually drawing attention and drawing people to their YouTube channel. Hopefully they can continue with content through there. But
all I got to say, if you're going to make a deal with ESPN where they're going to be announcing the roster then you say, listen, throughout the show, you're going to build up to the announcement. You're going to make a big deal of the game. You're going to have the game up on the screen. But the problem is ESPN doesn't own the rights to the game. CBS does. So it's like a conflict of interest. So why didn't they do this on like CBS Sports Network or something? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. But, I think what they did really there was diminish their product because it's like, what was just on the TV? So did Hoppy get his manager fired? No, the manager got his manager fired. The dude got himself fired. He's an idiot. He's a moron. He's a half-wit. I don't care what anybody says. Anybody who knows anything about that team thinks he's the worst coach ever from Mallorca. So
this could be the moment for Hoppy.
I can't see it.
Oh, it's just an article talking about how the coach was fired amid poor run in Spanish
It's
League.
good for Hoppy. I can't tell you who, but somebody definitely texted me today saying,
Is our contact there, Stu Holden?
They said, "Yay!" Oh shit!
Oh,
I gotta call him back too. Shit. Jackie D. So did Hoppy get his manager fired? No. Manager fired himself.
I just now realized I looked at the standings and realized that Mallorca is in relegation zone right now.
Yes, they are.
Mind you, one would pop them up to 15th place, but one win. Let me rephrase that. But yeah,
Not playing the lineups they've been playing. They're bad.
lost 5 in a row. Yep.
They're awful, and they're not
Got
even
a chance
willing.
to play.
I mean, they're not even willing to like try something different. So that's why this guy got to go, because the guy was like, "No, I'm not going to do anything different. I'm just going to use the same chuckleheads I've been using."
Dude, they've got a minus 23 goal differential, which is the third worst. They're the best relegation bound team, basically.
Yeah,
On
it's
goals.
pitiful. They're pitiful. Yeah. Any other questions? Or are we calling this a night? Oh,
Well,
we got to make the.
Good. Sorry.
We got to make prediction before we leave.
Oh, just the results.
Yeah, Mexico versus USA prediction. Oh man, god damn it! I'm going 1-1 tie.
I'm going 2-1 US.
That's predictable.
You're talking about my optimism?
Glass half full.
Yep.
Glass
half full.
empty.
Half empty. There you go. Yeah.
And listen, if it ends up being a 1-0
like
loss, I'm not
we're
going to be
split, Derek.
surprised either.
Everybody's split. 1-1 draw, 2-1 win.
Yeah. I mean, listen, as long as we play really good and we lose but we were really good and we played competitively and we just missed a few chances and they got like one chance and they fucking shanked it in or whatever.
Sparkle, you're going on a 2-minute timeout.
And that shit happens in soccer, okay? Weird
Same with
shit
you.
happens in
You're
soccer.
going 2-minute timeout.
Yeah, Dos Acero, it's possible.
It's always
But
possible,
all I
anyways.
care about is, did we play well? If we lost 2-0, but we were really good and we had a lot of good attempts made and a lot of chances that were created and we just didn't finish them, then I'll be pissed at the people who specifically didn't finish them, but I'm not going to be pissed at Berhalter because he set up whatever he set up and he had the team aligned to get them those opportunities. And if we don't finish them, then that's on the players. But so again, we usually do look constipated, however. So that's the problem. Are we going to look constipated tomorrow? We probably won't because Mexico's not going to play a low block.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to come after us, which is good for us. We like when teams come after us. It allows us to use our athleticism, our skills, and our speed, mostly against Mexico, since they're slow as fuck. So, you mean if we dominate them like we did Canada? No. No, not that kind of domination. I don't want any of that. That's like a who are the women who dress up in leather and come over to your house and whip you?
Dominatrix.
Dominatrix. That's like a dominatrix with a broken leg. You don't want one of those. If you're into that shit, I'm not. But other people are. You want a healthy dominatrix. All right.
Well, hey guys, this has been a fun 30 minutes live stream.
We are such
Oh,
idiots. All right. Okay.
It'll be a quick 30-minute segment, guys. Come listen to us.
Surely 30 minutes, 35 at best. Yeah. Thank God I didn't ask Tack to come on the show. Then it would have been even longer. So, all right. But hey,
we all
guys,
like to hear ourselves talk.
thank you for liking, subscribing, following, sharing with your grandma who's about as old as I am, which, there's nothing wrong with that. If you got a grandma in her 50s, that's cool. I probably could hang out with her and we would have like great conversations about our generations and how we came up and, the music we listened to. So do share it with your grandma. She might like me. You never know if you have a grandma. All right. Until the next time on the Straight Red Card, we won't be back until Friday
evening.
Good night.
Do it again. Oop. Ah, fuck. And like it. That's way too many likes. I got a comment on a channel. Fuck. Oh. Yeah. That should probably do. That should probably do.
That hurt. More verticality.